Hang on. There we go. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Sharon. Lovely to see you both today. What time is it, Cheryl? It must be like super early where you are. Bless you. You can pop it in the chat. Okay, so Joe, I don't think June's able to join us today. She messaged me earlier, and a couple of people I know, like I said the other day, I watched it in the US, so I'm really pleasantly surprised to see Cheryl here. So welcome to today's session. Oh, hang on, you're on mute, Cheryl. You need to pop it in the chat.
Oh, there it is. No, usually I'm up this early anyway. I mean, I do have a cat.
What time is it where you are?
It's 7:30. Yeah, it's 7:30. So
Wow.
yeah, she gets me up about 5:30 and wants to go outside, and I'm like, it's too dark. You can't go out on the porch. I don't know what's out there. We have coyotes and cougars and you name it. Bobcats have been seen. So I'm like, no, you cannot go out there right now. No.
Yeah. You keep her in, keep her safe.
Yes.
Excellent.
Even on a catio that's screened in, I'm like, they can get through that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to pop you back on mute. So thank you for joining me today. Today we've got the live Q&A session. So for those of you that are here with me live, if you've got questions, feel free to write them and pop them in the chat for me. I've got a couple of questions that have come through this week, so I'll start with those whilst you guys are typing if you've got any. And just before we get into it, let's do a quick recap like we've done the other days. So Monday we talked about what we can do for our own energy, how we can help ourselves, and why that's important, why we need to, why we have to, and how it can affect our cats. We talked about, our mental state as well as our kind of physical and emotional state and how those can really affect them. Then the other days I won't remember which one we did when, but I know we did nutrition yesterday, and the other two were basically a combination of, understanding that your cat is an individual, thinking about what they need, what they can do, what you can do to help them, support them through this season, and really kind of understanding, how you can make the best of your Christmas together, because, we want to have a lovely time. We want our animals to have a lovely time, but it can be quite stressful. And the whole point of this week is to really be about helping you understand it from the cat's perspective. What is changing in their world? What can we do for them? And then, excuse me, yesterday we talked about nutrition. So we talked about what to feed for Christmas Day lunch if you want to include them. We talked about, hang on, let me just sort some tech stuff. We talked about Christmas Day lunch, what to give them. We talked about Advent. So, whether you're interested in involving them with Advent, how to basically kind of look at the labels and things we mentioned about. There's a webinar you can catch on replay from our YouTube channel. And it was really about understanding, how much do you want to include your cat? And there's a fine line between what you want to do to include them with Christmas and also, what's good for them, what they can cope with, what their body can deal with. And then towards the end, we talked about poop and how to look for things in the litter tray, what to be aware of, what to look out for. If you are going to feed some different food, what to kind of be aware of. So let me just, I've still got some text going on this end, but bear with me. Right, okay. See if I can lock the room. Sorry, everybody. And for those of you catching on replay, just bear with me a second. Right, okay. So I see a couple of you putting the questions in the chat. That's great. Keep the messages going. We've got a couple of questions that have come in beforehand, so I'm going to answer those first of all, and then we'll look at the ones that have come through on the chat. So someone messaged me and said, will essential oils damage my cat? So this is a question I get asked so many times. And, I co-authored a book on the topic because I'm so passionate and believe that they can be used safely. There are a few things to consider. So I'm not going to spend the whole session talking about essential oils. It is a massive, massive topic, but the kind of the high notes to be aware of are use self-selection. So I believe in self-selection. If I use any remedies with Leo, that's not I do any remedies to him. I offer them for him and he can choose what he needs. So essential oils, yes, they can be damaging. Like everything in this world can be damaging if it's misused. Medication for humans can be damaging if it's misused. You know, massage, if you go far too hard on one muscle and it doesn't need it, can be damaging if misused. So essential oils in themselves are one of the most profound healing tools that we have as humans, but sometimes we don't fully understand it and sometimes we're misusing it. How do you do it with cats? You use self-selection. So you offer a remedy, never ever use topical application, you use through inhalation only, and you let the cat choose. So that's no diffusers, that's no plugins, that's no oils, no reeds. It's about giving the cat a choice to inhale that remedy. And actually, when I've worked with cats in 15 plus years, you know, there are some cats who will be really, really clear in their signs of selection, very obvious about the remedy that they want, which is great. Not all cats are like that. You've got those cats that you'll only notice the slightest change in perception or the slightest change in their behavior and in their body language. And that's the cue that they're using an oil. So as I mentioned the other day, I'm going to say it again, you know, the Aromatic Cat book, we talk about all about the signs of processing, the remedies you can use, how to use them safely with your cat. So yes, essential oils can be used with cats, and no, they're not damaging unless they're used incorrectly. Okay, one of the questions that I've had was about, hang on a second. Oh, it's about guests coming to their house. So funny enough, so we just had a comment come up, also curious how to deal with guests who are cat owners and assume your cat is like theirs. My sister was here recently. Her kitty is very social. Mine's not so much. Absolutely. So we talked about this. I think it was day 2, maybe day 3. I don't know if you managed to catch the replays, but we talk about what to do in that situation. And the question that I've had is really around, you know, people aren't cat lovers and they're coming to my house. So to that and to your comment, I would say you need to speak with them. You need to be honest and have that conversation. And it can really be about, this sounds really not meant to be, I can't think what the word is. It's gone. Basically, think about your tone is the bottom line. The tone is how it will be received. So if we're getting defensive and we're defensive cat mums, you know, and it's like, it's my cat and this is my house, you know, as a human, they are going to react to that, and it's going to be defensive because you are defensive, and rightly so. It's your home, it's your baby. But I tell you, tone makes such a difference. Even if you can't, like me, always articulate yourself and can't always get your words out, how you come across in your tone is actually very heavily linked to your energy and the frequency that you give out. So if you're talking urgently and panicky and stressed, that is coming out from your aura, from your chakras, from your energy centers. If you're talking about it from a place of, you know, respect and love, it's a very different frequency. And as we know, when you walk into a room, you can feel energy from people, from environments. So have a think about what you're putting out there. So if you need to take a deep breath before you speak to said person, and again, whether it's on the phone before they come over or whether it's when they're at the house, just take a nice deep breath and ground yourself and think to yourself, you know, I come from a place of love. And it's love for your cat, but it's also love for the other person. It's love for this human that you're communicating to, because essentially they don't understand. And that's not to say that, you know, I'm not calling them stupid, I'm not calling them uneducated, but we don't always understand what everybody is going through. We don't always understand what is playing on someone's mind, someone else's emotional state, mental state. We have no idea, okay? The only thing we're only ever aware of is our own. So where can you come and meet that person from a place of understanding? Because if that's what you want from someone, the best thing you can do is put that out there. So you have that conversation and say, look, you know, I really wanted to have a quick chat with you. In the case of the comment on the screen here about, you know, assuming people that come into your house that your cat is like theirs, that can be one of the most difficult because it's a cat person, great, cat lover, great. And, you know, the cats in terms of personalities are opposite ends of the spectrum. So if you've got one, like my little Leo, hides away, very nervous, like Phasma, you know, quite hesitant around guests, quite fearful. And you've got cats, I think about one of my dad's cats, Chaos, who will go and cuddle anyone. You know, he goes and rubs around legs, he shows his belly, he's in amongst all the presents and wrapping. He really is like just so laid back. And it comes down to talking. It comes down to the human using your voice to speak on behalf of Phasma, as I do with Leo. You know, when we've had in-laws here before, they love animals, they want to see him, they want to cuddle him. Like, sorry guys, you know, he's hiding away. And actually there is something about being honest, but without being apologetic, you know. So Phasma and Leo, they're nervous cats. That's the way they are. I'm not going to apologize for that. I just ask you to respect that about him. You know, and again, it's a very different energy you're giving to someone, rather than saying, your cat's not like mine, or my cat's not like yours. You know, you have that adult awareness conversation where you say, my baby girl, my sweet girl, whatever you call her, you know, my pussycat is different to yours. Look, she's not going to be interested in being around people today. Let's just leave her be. You know, and again, if you've got reactive or hurtful kind of comments coming back, hold the line and know that you're speaking on behalf of your cat, and that's the most important thing. And just, you know, kind of be on the other end of the spectrum. So if you've got cats where they are really cuddly and really not bothered about people, brilliant. But just a note of caution, you know, be aware, because sometimes cats can go into this state of almost like overwhelm, where they are accepting and tolerant of everything that's going on around them, and they show the signs of stress later. So just be aware of that. Again, noticing their particular body language. So if you've got guests in the home, are their ears slightly flat, not fat, are their ears slightly flat? Are their eyes slightly bigger than normal? You know, I would still encourage you to ask your guests to put their hand out first to let the cat sniff them and gauge their reaction. So if the cat then, I'm going to do this on the camera, but if you've got your hand here and your cat kind of sniffs it and then goes into it or boops it or somehow moves into the hand, great, they're happy to have contact and interaction. If the cat just holds their position and freezes, I would ask the person to kind of just step away and carry on what you're doing and see if the cat will then come and join you, because cats are very wise. And if they want to be in amongst people, they'll come and join you. You know, if they're watching from the sidelines, that's okay too. You know, like I mentioned the other day, different smells, different people, different energy, different environment. Okay, so Phasma loves her valerian root. Yes, valerian is an absolutely fabulous remedy. I can't stand the smell. I've got a client who has it as a tea. I don't know how on earth she can drink that. But like I said before, different strokes for different folks, right? And it's just the same with cats. So I put valerian root down, Leo doesn't go anywhere near it. If I put valerian powder down, he licks it and ingests it, which I find, you know, again, very, very interesting. So it's what they need when they need it. So as you mentioned the other day, if you haven't already got a herb garden down, it's definitely a great idea. Even if you don't see them go to it, they'll be using it in some way, shape or form, whether that's when you're asleep, you know, whether it's just a slight walk past and take a sniff as they walk on, they will be using it for sure. Okay, you talked about sounds. My girl's very much affected by some of the sounds that pop up on TV this time of year. Any thoughts on desensitizing her to that? Great question. So when we first got Leo, he really wasn't, he didn't know what the TV was. He'd never been around a TV. He walked in the room and promptly ran straight back out the first time we had the TV on. You've answered your own question, I'll be honest, with the desensitizing, you know, so it's all about exposure. So you start off with very low volume for a good period of time, and you slowly increase the volume. So it's really about, as you said, desensitizing her. I appreciate you can't always control like the adverts that come on or the programs that are there. If you've got any capacity to perhaps record it on your smartphone, then you can replay it. And actually, if you've got a recording of it on your smartphone, what you can do is when she's in her happy place, perhaps you're having cuddles, you know, you can play it really super quietly so that there is the kind of positive and negative association going on. So she's got the positive cuddles, love with you, and in the background she can kind of hear this little bit of noise. But again, you've got to figure out where her threshold is and start below that in terms of anxiety and stress. She's been going to us quite a lot. Yeah, alarms, agreed. We have fireworks as well, unfortunately, around Christmas time. The best thing in terms of like loud noises and things, I would say, is we mentioned again the other day on the replay about sandalwood and frankincense, two of the best remedies, two of the best essential oils for sound, fear of sound. So again, just one drop on a piece of fabric, put it on the floor, never apply topically, never add to food, and let her use it. So again, I've had a client who's experienced noises. It was actually a tap that went on when the water had been off for a while. There was like a hissing noise as the air started to come through. She actually had frankincense, sandalwood, and bergamot down. And I've got a video of the cat. She put the tap on, the cat hissed, literally jumped off the floor and ran straight over to the essential oils. So again, if you've got those remedies down, it's a great opportunity to give the cat a self-soothing mechanism, because that's what it's about. It's about helping them to cope. And if you're aware of what remedies you can use to do that and how to put them down, then you've got an extra sort of tool in your toolkit. So it's not just heights and hideaway spaces, which obviously are really, really important for cats as well, but the remedies add another dimension because they work on the brain, they work on the limbic system in the body, they work on the emotional centers. So it's not just the kind of physical enrichment, if you like, in their environment. It's actually the emotional state that goes on internally that you can affect if you offer remedies as well. Okay, so whilst we've got another person, Sharon, have you got any questions whilst we're here today? Anything about Zubin? Anything Christmas? Anything you're worried about? Anything that's going on with you guys right now? No? No, you just dialed in for some cat chat. I like that. Okay. Okay, so another question I was asked was about the tree. So we talked about the tree, and I don't know if you follow the two crazy cat ladies on Instagram. They have they've got, I think it's 5 cats in their house, and I saw a short clip, and one of their cats had it was, I don't know, 8-10 foot tall tree, absolutely massive. They've got brilliant shelves around their room, so if you don't follow them on Instagram, you absolutely must. And there was a cat that had 2 feet on the back shelf and 2 feet in the tree, and you're just like, oh my god, that's going to be a moment where it's just this huge tree is just going to come down. They managed to get the cat out. But what I was going to say is, the other day we were talking about how to do behavior modification with your cat, and to do the positive reinforcement and reinforce the behavior that you do want. But I was watching this and I thought, what would I do in that moment if the cat's like half in? Because if you make a noise, the cat could potentially push away, and there goes the tree goes over. And I would have done, actually, when I thought about it, exactly what they did, which was slowly and gently, lovingly talk to the cat. And they were trying to get her basically to sort of turn around and go back onto the shelf. But when we mentioned the other day about your tree, I don't know if we did this where we were live or where we were chatting afterwards. If you come home from work and the tree is on the floor, the tree is on the floor. These things happen. And actually, sometimes when we're trying to prepare and prevent things going on, it can cause more stress in us, more stress in our animals. So have a think about how you would react if you came home and found your tree on the floor. Oh, hello, this gorgeous pussycat. I know for those of you that are watching this on replay can't see, but it's a gorgeous little puffing pussycat on the screen here, looking like, talk about me. I get so distracted when there's cats on screen. Leo's downstairs hiding under our sofa, hiding behind the sofa, because we've got loads of banging from the neighbors next door. So the top tips that we've talked about this week, they're to help you cope. They're to help you with your cat. Sometimes it goes wrong, right? Cats still find a way to jump into the tree. It looks like it's swinging on a chandelier. Oh, my life. Yeah. These things happen, right? And sometimes you just gotta, cat butt. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at it. You really do. And I don't know if that's kind of come across this week, because I am very much a risk averse person. I will plan and prep and organize as much as I can. And sometimes it just all goes to crap. I'm sorry for the language, but it does. And there is something humbling about just surrendering to whatever is going on, right? So I'm going to wrap us up today with talking a bit more about the human side of things. You know, we've talked about how to prep at the beginning of the week, how to look after yourself. And you know what, if you get to the point where you just wake up and you just want to have a good old cry, have a good old cry. My grams always used to say, you know, you're better out than in. And she'd always say to me, like, the more you let out, the more can come through you, the more can come in. And I think those are very wise words. So this week, if you can't do all the stuff I've said, it doesn't matter. If you can do one thing, do that one thing. You know, if it's the tree or the decorations or your cat levels or a hidey hole or having that really potentially hard conversation with friends and family, you know, whatever it is, it will make a difference to your cat. And that's what's important. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn how to support our cats. And if it all goes wrong and you come home and the house is almost, you know, just either turned upside down or just a pile of crap, just sit there and cry in the crap, people. Sometimes there's not much more you can do. And if you try and control it and make it better, sometimes you just make it worse. So don't be hard on yourself this Christmas. We have all got oodles and oodles of stuff going on, you know, home, work, COVID, animals, and everything in between all of that came before the pandemic, that came before the vaccination conversations, you know, and all that, everything that comes with that. People are generally stressed at Christmas anyway, because there's a lot more to do. And our energy, like I said at the beginning of the week, is very different. So if the one thing that you can do today, tomorrow, you know, Sunday, is catch your breath, that will still make a really big difference. Trust me. It may seem small, it may feel insignificant, but it will make a big difference. So before I wrap us up today, I want us to do what I call a calm connection. So we started the week with this. I want to end the week with this. And a big thank you to everyone that's joined me this week. For those of you that have been here live and those of you that have caught it on replay, I hope you found it useful. I hope that there have been some tips that you've taken forward, and it's been lovely to connect with you this week. I apologize about the timing. I mentioned yesterday I will be changing this for the next one in the new year, because as I connect with more and more people around the world, what works on my time zone isn't necessarily advantageous for others across the pond. So I will be looking at that next year and probably doing it evening, more so my time. So let's just do a calm connection before we wrap up. So getting yourselves comfortable, ladies and gents that are watching live or on a replay. Getting yourself comfortable and closing your eyes when you're ready. Okay, let's start by taking a nice deep breath in and out, nice and slow. Left hand on your heart space, another deep breath. And out. And right hand on your tummy or just below your belly button, another deep breath. Okay, and just letting the breath settle in the body. Letting it find its rhythm and flow. You have nowhere else to be right now, but just here, connecting with your breath. Connecting with yourself. And bringing your awareness in towards your body. Just notice where the breath is sitting. Take another deep breath if you need to, but just allowing the breath to flow through you, to be with you. Do you feel your body under your hands and your breath moving through? Just breathe. Just breathe. And taking your time to come around and open your eyes when you're ready. So don't forget, you can connect with your breath whenever you need to. You can do that pausing, that reconnecting whenever you need to. When you're in the toilet, when you've got guests downstairs, when you're in the kitchen, when you're in the car. It really doesn't matter, but you have the capacity to connect with yourself. And I really encourage you to start from there. So just before I leave, the Calm Cats meditation class in January is going to be free. I want to try and give people a taster, basically, and encourage people to come and join us so they can experience what it's like. I know that as cat mums and dads, we can get so lost in the day-to-day of everything. And I really want people to experience what it's like to take an hour with me and to sit with other cat like-minded folks to talk about cats and to enjoy meditation. So if you think it's your bag, if you want to try it, give it a go. I really encourage you to sign up. I'll put the link for the January's class in the follow-up email. And for those of you that have been before, please share it with friends, family, work colleagues, anyone you think is cat related that might enjoy it. They don't have to have a cat. They just need to be open to talking about cats, perhaps seeing a few cats. So they don't actually have to have their own. Zubin's generally on camera at some points. If you want to come and see a gorgeous fluffy cat, you've definitely got to sign up. So I hope you've enjoyed the week, everyone. Thank you again to everyone that's joined me live and that's watched the replay. And I really hope that you've enjoyed it. Have a wonderful Christmas. You'll see us on and off social media, but we're going to try and take a bit of time out. But we'll be ramping up things again in the new year. So enjoy Christmas, look after yourselves and your furry friends, and I will see you all soon. Much love. Bye for now.